Hi, we're here with Cory Glaberson in Real Art Collectibles in Berwyn, Illinois. Cory's got all kinds of cool movie objects here and collectibles that from all over the place, from all over the world. And he sells it through the shop, and he's got the warehouse sales occasionally too.
Absolutely.
And online at realartcollectibles.com.
Correct.
So tell us a little bit, Cory, on the kind of movie collectibles you have in the shop here.
We have everything. We have all kinds of movie posters. We have toys. We have some props. Not a lot right now. We also have a lot of stuff that is sold, made to be collected.
Cool.
As well as movie posters, press books. We even have 16 millimeter and 35 millimeter film. So we sell everything there is. I love movies. I've always loved movies, and so I've made that a major part of the store. And so in addition to that, we also sell toys, comic books, vintage vinyl. We have regular books. We have a lot of movie books about movies.
Yeah.
We just do everything pop culture except Beanie Babies. For some reason, I don't like Beanie Babies, and I usually don't like glassware because it breaks.
Yeah.
But everything else we sell.
So you've got tons of stuff here.
Right.
Where do you find all these things?
Well, you'd be surprised how much comes in through the door. People bring it to me all the time.
Really?
But I'm also at shows. I love talking to people about their collections, and in doing so, I'm constantly what I call pulling the thread. Finding a new piece, pulling people, calling them up, actively looking for stuff. And I've got a huge collection of people that I correspond with and talk to. One of my friends in New Orleans just found a collection in Los Angeles.
Nice.
So he's going to fly out to Los Angeles, and then I might get in on it. I don't know.
Yeah. So you have this network built up now.
And I have a network built up of people that I talk to. This is one way of doing it.
That's good.
Is, anyone who listens to the podcast, if they have something they want to sell, please look me up, find realartcollectibles.com, and we'll be happy to buy it from you.
Yeah, that's real with R-E-E-L.
R-E-E-L.
You get it.
As in reel-to-reel film.
Right.
Exactly, yeah. It's
That's
a play on an old... Real Art was a company that re-released the monster movies in the 50s. R-E-A-L. And that was the way that most people saw them, was in those re-releases in the 50s.
Yes,
and those became the ones that they brought onto TV. So that's where I got that from.
Cool. So how did you possibly get into this business?
I like most important thing is I want to be my own boss. I don't like working for other people. Still don't like working for other people. So this is a way for me to do something I like, do something I love, movies, comic books, toys, and do it on my own. Do it for me. No one can tell me except my wife. That what I do. I mean, I don't make a lot of money, frankly, but it doesn't matter because I do have a lot of freedom.
Yes. And how long have you been doing this?
Since 1992.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a long time now.
Yeah.
And I always have a store. The store is about 7-8 years old. Most of the time we did shows and online.
Okay.
At the beginning of eBay, I was there.
Sure.
And then we go to shows around the country, which I still love doing.
Yeah.
And so I go to shows all over I used to go all over the world. I've been to Australia, I've been to Japan, I've been to England many times. I don't do that as much anymore.
Yeah.
But I still go to the big comic book and show in San Diego Comic-Con.
Sure.
And I do the big New York show. And I do Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I do shows all over the Midwest.
So for our listeners out there and viewers out there who aren't in the Midwest and they're maybe all over the world, you ship to them, right? You ship anywhere?
Absolutely. Ship anywhere in the world.
So they could order from your website online?
Absolutely. Or or go to our Facebook page, like us on Facebook, because we're always posting stuff on Facebook.
Sure.
Or just contact us, because a lot of people, collectors especially, have very specific tastes, and so it's hard to put up enough stuff to find what they want. So just let us know. Email us.
Sure.
We also have a big eBay presence.
That's excellent.
So yeah.
So obviously you have genres of all kinds of different
Everything,
films. So,
yeah.
what's your favorite genre? Obviously, we got some spy stuff we're going to be talking about here in a little bit. So, what's your favorite genre of all the stuff you have?
I'm a big science fiction fan.
Okay.
I love science fiction.
Day of the Earth Stood Still. You like
Day
that
of the
one?
Earth Stood Still is one of my absolute favorites.
It's one of mine.
Yeah, sure. Still, great.
Fabulous movie.
And
The original one.
The original one. Yeah, they kind of screwed up the ending on the Keanu Reeves one. And
I agree.
Keanu Reeves is no
Michael Rennie.
at all. Yeah, no. But I do like science fiction. I do like Star Wars, all the Star Wars films, all the Star Trek films.
It's all fun.
It's all. I love all that stuff. I like horror. I don't like the modern vintage, kind of like the horror porn that they come out with, like Saw.
Yeah,
but I like,
right.
But I do like all the classic horror films, and Universal monsters and things like that as well.
Right.
So I'm big on that, and I also love all kinds of foreign films. Criterion Channel has lots of great movies, but not a lot of spy movies, unfortunately.
So you deal with collectors all over the world.
All over the
here.
world, right.
And so, do you, Cory, own some of your own collectibles?
I do. I have a big toy gun collection. I love toy guns.
Okay, all right.
So, and one of my absolutely treasured pieces is a James Bond attaché case.
Oh,
the
really?
original mint one. And there's a British one, which I have, and I have a mint American one still in the wrapper.
Oh, nice.
And as well as, I have the Joe 90 briefcase, and there's like 4 or 5 other There's a Secret Sam briefcase.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
I've got all those as well.
All right, you got to get us a peek view, at least a photo of the attaché case. We want to see that.
That's a really cool piece.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Because that was a fabulous piece.
It was. When I was a kid, I
Yeah.
just loved it. Yeah, it was. And it was a great thing from Goldfinger and all those guys. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So, can you show us some of the spy stuff? We have some of the spy
you
stuff
see
around
some
here,
of the posters
and tell us
around
about
here.
the kinds of things you have that are spy related.
Spy related. So I was thinking about that. There's toys. That came out from James Bond on.
Yes.
Then mostly a lot of little vehicles and things like that. I have a few of those I can show you.
DB5 and stuff.
I don't think I have a DB5 in the store. I've got the Quantum of Solace car.
Oh, nice. That's a nice one.
A nice car. But for collectors, movie posters are probably the prominent thing, for collecting, especially because James Bond is so central to the whole spy thing.
Absolutely.
And so we surrounded ourselves with all different types of spy posters here because they're the quintessential collecting thing for a spy person. Spy people are usually older. They're not really playing with toys. Maybe they played with toys when they were kids.
Sure.
There are some, classic, beautiful cars and things like that, and that makes sense.
Yes.
But most people saw the spy movies when they were a little older, and so they gravitate to the more mature movie posters. There's also books. The James Buchan books and things like that.
Yes.
But that's a very now specialized field.
Yes.
39 Steps book is.
Yeah, we have a podcast on the 39 Steps. It's one of our all-time favorite movies.
It's an all-time favorite movie, and the Hitchcock version is great.
Yes.
Fabulous. And so that is a very rare poster. And
you have that poster?
I don't. I've had pieces. There's posters, and then they have these things called lobby cards. Lobby cards are usually a set of 8, not always, but usually a set of 8 scenes from the movie. And they would put those literally in the lobby of the theater. This was before, you had even trailers and TV, certainly before TV.
Yes.
Where, how are you going to see what this movie's about? Well, you go to the theater and there's 8 little pictures of the film right there. And so it gives you some idea of what's going on, what year it came out, was what they're doing. And so lobby cards are very cool because they tell you about
I've seen a few of those from License to Kill.
License to Kill.
Those are some great lobby cards.
They stopped making them.
Right.
Around 2000, they kind of, only a few Bond pictures, now have them.
Yeah.
And
So you mentioned the posters. There are different kinds of posters we were talking about a little earlier from different parts of the world, right? Some of these are from...
Yeah, I have a Japanese Daniel Craig. This is... Well, we also have the... See, with Bond posters especially, Bond movies were made in England. So what they call the country of origin is the poster from the actual movie house, the theater, the studio that made the movie, right? And those are most desirable. So for Bond, it's the British quad. That's 30 inches by 40 inches. That is the most desirable movie poster. And so, those go for thousands of dollars, the Connery.
Probably hard to come by.
Well, they're a little harder than the American posters, that's for sure.
Sure. But you see them once in a while.
Oh, I've had them. I've had them all. I sell them to people all the time. That's the problem is much as I love movie posters, I can't afford my own hobby. I got to be able to sell these things, But the American posters, are also great. They have different art.
Yeah.
And the British ones usually.
Man
with the golden gun. And, Roger Moore is still highly collected now more than in the past because the people who grew up with the Roger Moore pictures as their first Bond pictures are the ones that are now collecting, We're
looking at the poster with Roger Moore in the classic pose with the pistol, and we've got the car jumping over the river in the background, and of course the
golden gun.
You got the golden gun itself, the 007 bullet. Cory, tell us a little bit more about this and who did the poster.
The artist is Robert Mcguinness. He's one of the great poster artists of all time. He did a lot of the early Bond posters. And people really, really like his art. I do too. He draws women so beautifully.
Yes.
This is with Christopher Lee was the villain, the main villain in this. Britt Eklund was the main Bond girl. And the gun, I'm a toy gun collector, so the gun really, when I was a kid...
Do you have a copy of this one?
I have a copy of this one, and I also have a copy of the Advance, which shows the gun itself. We can show you that, too.
Yeah, right.
That one I love.
All right, we're going to take a look at that one now, too, with the
This
gun
is actually
itself.
worth more because it is a rare poster.
All right, now we're looking at the Christmas presentation from James Bond.
This is what I call it Advance. They would put up a poster typically way before the movie came out to let you know that it's coming.
Get you excited about it.
That's right. And this one is one of the ones I've always loved.
So we're looking at this one.
I have a copy of this.
And it's got the golden gun broken apart into its pieces. Of course, the pen, etc., the cigarette lighter, and then it's got one assembled. And it's got both of them, one on top of the other.
Right.
It's got the man with the golden gun is ready to assassinate James Bond.
See, now they never made a toy of this. They did later, but they never made a toy of it during the run of this movie. Like I was saying, posters are Bond stuff is more for mature people. They did make toys for Goldfinger and a few of the other ones, and those are very cool as well.
Of course, the golden gun in the movie, Scaramanga, the bad guy, Christopher Lee, for $1 million would go assassinate whoever you wanted him to go assassinate for $1 million, and he only needed one bullet. The gun only holds one bullet, and so that's all he needed, he said. And there was a special bullet maker he used to make it the golden bullets, and this is it.
Yeah.
The gun is here, assembled and disassembled.
You could disassemble it, and you can walk around. It's just a pen and a cigarette lighter,
cigarette case, and a cufflink.
Right.
Yeah. Cool stuff.
It is.
This poster is fabulous. So this poster is available here, and again, do you know who did this poster, Cory?
The artist, I'm not sure on this one.
Okay,
but it is really cool. I'm sure somebody will tell us. And the poster behind me is from A View to a Kill. This is not a Robert Mcguinness artwork poster. It's a nice poster, A View to a Kill. It's not worth as much,
right?
Partly because it's a later poster.
Yeah, Roger Moore's last film as Bond.
Was it? Yeah. Okay, you know more than I do.
I think he was like 57 or something when he did this one. He even thought he was a little too old for this, but I thought it was still a fun movie.
Yeah,
and it was pretty cool.
His early films were the best.
But that's a nice poster. It's a poster of course, the San Francisco, when they're on the bridge in San Francisco, Golden Gate Bridge, and he's up on top of the bridge there. So, and of course, the blimp is there as well with the bad guys. Yeah. So, very cool poster. I want to
show you too. I will show you the difference between an American poster and this is a a British quad. You can see it's horizontal, not vertical.
Yeah, are all the British posters horizontal?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Pretty much. They did do a few vertical. This is for
Oh, we're looking here at
Casino
a Casino
Royale.
Royale
right.
poster. Beautiful. Daniel Craig with his bow tie undone.
And you see, it's horizontal, not vertical. These are country of origin posters. It's important to note that because that's what are the most expensive. This will be more expensive than the American Casino Royale in the years as they get older. And now that he's about to finish his reign,
Yes.
as I think that they'll all go up in value as well.
Yeah.
Not to the Bond post, not to the Connery poster prices, but they'll still be very valuable. Bond is one of those gold standard, always going to be collectible franchises. It's got Bond, you've got Star Wars.
Yes.
It's not like it's not like $6 Million Man. It's great at the time. People still collect it.
Right.
But eventually, people who won't know that stuff are going to die off.
Yeah, Bond's the longest running franchise in movie history.
And it's wonderful. Yeah.
And now we're waiting for the new
Let
one.
me show you something else too. These came out for the premiere, and they came out in different sizes. But it's cool because they came out with character ones.
Yeah, we're looking at a variety of posters. Some, all of them with Daniel Craig. Some of them with some of the stars. Of course, Judi Dench is M.
Right.
In one of them, one with 4 versions of Craig moving.
Right.
Another with Solange, which is one of my favorites.
Nicholson.
Matt Nicholson.
Yeah.
He was fabulous.
So these only came out at the premiere of the show. Now, I don't know if I cannot find any large size.
Okay.
Of these posters. They're all just small.
So these would have been at the London premieres?
The London premieres.
I want to go to one of those.
Yeah. I got these from, here's another story. How do I get things? I was at the Bond in Motion.
I've been there.
Yeah, it's a great
Fabulous,
museum.
isn't it?
Was a great museum. It's gone now. There's
a Bond in Motion museum still.
Is it?
With
I
all the
thought they
cars and
closed
everything?
it.
No. It's still there.
Oh, well, maybe
I was
wrong.
there a year and a half ago.
Anyway, I went to the Bond Museum, and I'm there looking at how wonderful it is, and they've got this poster up on the wall, and I said, "Oh, and they're for sale." And I said, "Well, do you have more?" And oh yeah, we got a whole bunch more. I go, "Really? Can I buy a bunch more?" And they said, "Sure." So I got a whole bunch of posters then, and then I corresponded with the guy. And he said, "Well, we got these things. I'll throw them in for free."
Oh my God!
Because he's got even more stuff all the time, and so I've been buying stuff from him for a while, and then all of a sudden, it was all gone. Someone bought it all. Someone else bought it all. But I got a nice piece of it, so I'm happy. I don't want to have to have everything.
Nice.
But that's how you do it. You talk to people. You're constantly talking to people, saying, "Oh, what do you have?
Yes.
What's your collection like? Where can I get that piece?"
And that's where you're making connections, and you
that's
keep in
my
touch with all these
networking
people.
and connections. Right.
There you go. Now we're looking at another poster behind you there, Corey, a Bollinger Champagne of James Bond. There's a. Explain that poster a little bit. It's kind of cool. It's got a big bottle of. This is from License to Kill.
Right.
It's got a big bottle of Bollinger Champagne.
Well, it was Timothy Dalton. Is that Timothy Dalton? Yeah. It's not. Timothy Dalton was not the greatest Bond. A lot of people.
I like him.
But he was all right. I mean, the thing with that was they were doing cross promotion with different brands, right? That became really big later on, and that's one of the early ones.
Product placement was
extremely rare poster, extremely rare. It's a Bond poster that it's not part of the canon of. If you're a completist, that's the kind of poster you want. If you want every single Bond poster ever made, that's the kind of thing you look for. But if for a lot of people, they don't need that.
Yeah.
So it's expensive.
It is a cool poster,
but it takes a long time to sell.
Yeah.
But it does go for a lot when you do get people interested in it.
Yeah. So this is a unique poster. It wouldn't have been a lobby card. It wouldn't have been a regular poster.
It was just something that they put up in stores and they put up in the theater, or they put it up in the theater to promote Bollinger's.
Yes.
As part of the experience of being a Bond, person.
Very cool.
This Connery people, Sean Connery is still acknowledged the master of all the Bond, and his posters still command for the most money.
Really?
But
and did they sell out first? Ahead of everything else?
I had a great collection just recently. It's all gone.
Wow.
And I still have some Roger Moores.
Yes.
It's just that's the way it is.
So every day you're getting new stuff, though. So
I try to. Every day I'm always looking for stuff. Yeah.
So if you can't find it now, Cory may have it next week.
Absolutely. And you never know what comes in through the door. It's amazing. Like I said, I was talking to a guy who's got a major collection in California. And so if he had any bronze, I'm going to try and get a couple.
Absolutely. Terrific. So what are the most interesting collectibles that you've had in the shop?
Well, I've had some great movie posters. I've been very blessed and I'm lucky in finding some great movie poster collections. The most expensive poster I think I've ever found is the only known copy of the Invisible Man. The original Invisible Man insert. Insert is a style of movie poster that's long and thin. And no one had ever seen one before. And I put that up and I got $85,000 for that.
Oh my God!
And the guy who bought it turned it around and sold it for $125,000.
So that had to be the rarest item you've had in your shop.
That's probably the rarest single item that I've had in my shop.
That's a great story.
Tell
us a little bit.
I was at a show in New York, and with a friend of mine, Morris Everett, who has a great auction house. His wife and my wife are great friends, and so they're up front, luckily, taking the money while we're in the back, and there's like 50 poster dealers in the hall, and this guy comes up and he's got some a bag of paper, and my wife looks at it and says, that's old paper, and he goes up, can you tell me someone here who's buying movie posters? This gentleman says, I want to sell these posters. And so my lovely, wonderful, gorgeous wife hand carried them through a hall of movie posters right to my and handed them to me, and I went, oh, okay. And so I start looking at this stuff and I go, holy moly. It was not just the Invisible Man, it was a whole roll of all this old 30s paper.
Wow.
So I said, well, I want to buy it from you. He says, great. And so we're talking about a deal, but the catch is he needs the money today, and it's Sunday.
Oh.
There's no banks. I've got $300 in my pocket. He knows it's worth more than $300. So I'm like, well, I'll give you the check tomorrow. I'll go to my... He needs the money today.
Wow.
I'll tell you why later.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. So I had to look around. What am I going to do? I mean, I can't let this go. And I can't ask any of my buddies because they will... they'll be like vultures. They'll just descend on him. So I go to Morris. And I go, Morris. And I drag Morris into a closet, basically. And I say, I need money to buy this collection. He goes, well, show me it. And I unroll the Invisible Man. And he had a Robin Hood. And I unrolled the Robin Hood.
Oh, wow.
And he had a Tarzan. And I unrolled the Tarzan.
These are all the classics.
These are all, amazing stuff. And his eyes are like, And he goes, well, what do you need? He says, well, I need to borrow as much money as you possibly give me. And he says, okay, I'll do that if you put him in the auction. His auction.
Ah.
And I said, okay, fine. He didn't want any piece of the collection. He just wanted to put it in the auction. So he goes back to his wife and he says, give me every dollar you have. And we scrape together about $2,000. And he takes it. Now, it's, I'm telling him, I'll give you more later. No, I need the money right now. So we give him the money. Well, it turns out this guy has more stuff. He had been, his father had been the usher at the Capitol Theater in Arlington, Massachusetts. And was just gathered all this stuff. And unfortunately, his father had passed away, and he was now on the Upper West Side of New York with all these movie posters. And so over the next 3 to 4 years, I would buy slices out of this as he needed money. We were able to get all kinds of great stuff. I eventually called him the Magic Closet Man, because every time he'd go into his closet, he'd pull out something great. It was unfortunate in that he disappeared at a certain point. And by that time, one other person had learned of him, had found him. So the two of us were competing for this stuff.
Well, you're pretty lucky it lasted that long.
Because otherwise, everyone's going to go after him.
Absolutely.
He had great stuff. And the two of us were kind of like, okay, we're going to, keep this guy between us. After I sold that Invisible Man, I gave him an extra $5,000 because I, wanted to be shown that I'm trying to be honest with him.
Yeah.
And so we gave him all kinds of considerations, and we'd bring him every time I went to New York. We'd go out and have a big meal, and so he disappeared. It's too bad because we found a lot of stuff. We never found the one sheets. The one sheets would have been the real fine, because a one sheet for Invisible Man goes for.
And what's a one sheet? Tell them.
One sheet is the standard movie. This is a one sheet.
Okay.
Standard
right.
one sheet, 27 by 41. At that, now it's 27 by 40, but then those days it was 27 by 41. $150,000, $200,000. You know,
Wow.
Mummy was 300,000. You know, I mean, the guy collected on Frederick March.
Wow.
You know, he loved Frederick March and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So there was a couple of good. But if he had been a Lugosi and Karloff collector, I mean, he had $1 million worth of stuff. You know, because that's the really great. He loved Claude Rains. He loved Frederick March.
Rains,
he loved, but he didn't love Lugosi and Karloff, who are the big stars of 30s paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in all of your wanderings around, have you ever brushed elbows with some celebrities?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I shook hands with Paul McCartney.
Oh, cool.
You know, we had a great time. We were at a movie poster show, and he came by, and he didn't come by the show, but he came by the hotel to have tea, and so I invited him to the show, but he.
Yeah.
And but that was nice. And you know, I've sold stuff to Martin Scorsese. I've sold stuff to Ringo Starr. I've sold stuff to Joanna Cassidy. I've sold stuff to, you know, all the people come, you know, to these shows and look around. You know, I sold stuff to Russell Simmons. I sold I imagine, I don't know for sure, but he bought all these gigantic 40 by 60 blaxploitation posters. You know, I had a really nice collection, and he bought them up. And I never talked to him. I just talked to his people. His people would take pictures and say, you know, can I help you? And they're like, yeah, well, this is for Mr. Simmons. And, okay, great. You know, and so I've sold film to Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino has a theater in L.A. right now that shows classic movies. Wow. And he was always looking for 35 millimeter film. And so I have a major collection of 35. I had a big collection of 35 millimeter British noirs.
Wow.
And he wanted those, and I sold those to him.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You're like a celebrity yourself,
Well,
Cory.
no, that's not true. But I've had, if you want to brush elbows, those are the elbows I brushed.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So just to wrap it up, what's the furthest place you've ever shipped an item? Anywhere in the world?
Japan, for sure.
Wow, okay.
And lots of stuff to Japan. They're big collectors. Russia as well, going the other way. So, yeah, all over the world.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, tell people how they can find you, Cory.
Great. Well, we have a great website, realartcollectibles.com. We also are on Facebook. Look us up, Real Art Collectibles. Also, you can call me, 708-288-7378. C. Glaberson at AOL.com is my email, and you can come down. I'm so old, I have an AOL address. I've got, or you can come to the store, you know, and 6727 Stanley Avenue, Berwyn, Illinois, 60402. 708-637-3244 is our store phone number. Love to talk to you about any of your collectibles, any of the stuff you want to sell or buy, what you're looking for. We're always finding new stuff. Give us a call. We'd love to hear from you.